Technical difficulties. Let's talk about that. Good morning, Crossroads students. I hope you all are doing really well on this wonderful Monday. I do have to apologize to you because for some reason the internet's not working at my house, and that's actually how I'm able to have my microphone and have audio. So the audio on this is just for my iPhone, so thank you so much, Apple, for doing a fantastic job at making audio. Some of you know that I am actually a stonemason, and if you don't know what a stonemason is, basically I get to build things with bricks or blocks and stuff like that, like brick houses or sidewalks, stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun, and part of that job is actually working on chimneys. And so the other day I was working on this chimney, and it was like 3 stories up in the air, and I don't mind heights too much. It's not my favorite thing, but this particular chimney was actually, this is the chimney, this is the house. The chimney was actually leaning away from the house. It was like 3 inches moved away from the house, which basically means that this chimney was actually falling off the house, and it was actually, potentially could have just fallen over. And I asked my boss, I'm like, what caused this chimney to do that? Like, why would it just completely fall away like that? And he said it's because the guy who built it didn't build the foundation quite right. And this chimney stood for a long time, but because he didn't build the foundation right, the chimney was starting to fall. And for anything you build, you need a solid foundation to get it to last. And the Bible talks a lot about how we should build our houses on the rock and not on the sand, because sand will wear away, sand can wash away if it rains, but if you build it on a rock, that's something solid and it'll last. And as Christians, we have to ask ourselves, what is our foundation? What is the solid rock that we're building our lives on? And there's a verse, it's actually my favorite verse. You could call it my life verse if you wanted to. And I've talked a lot about it. It's John 13:34, and it says this: "A new commandment I give unto you, love one another as I have loved you." Jesus is saying, a new commandment I give unto you, that you should love one another as I have loved you. And this is my favorite verse because it does 2 things. It gives us a command. He says, love one another, but then it also makes a statement. Jesus says, as I have loved you. And Jesus loves us so much in fact that he's forgiven us of our sin. He's accepted us, and he loves us, which is insane and crazy. And so as Christians, we have to ask ourselves, what is our foundation? And our foundation is Jesus. Surprisingly enough, it's not the church. It's not me, for sure. It's not your pastor. It's Jesus. And that's what we build our lives on. That's what we build the things that we do on. And every single brick that guy built on that chimney, they were solid bricks. And he put them up right. But because his foundation wasn't right, it didn't matter how solid, it didn't matter how solid those bricks were, that chimney was still falling. And so the question is, what is your foundation? Maybe you've never had a moment in your life where you've had to question that, and you've had to ask yourselves that. But I can promise you there'll be a moment in your life where you'll ask yourself, why should I love this person? Or do I really need to forgive again? Like, seriously? Do I need to forgive again? Or do I really need to accept this person into my friend group? Or do I really need to be accepting of this culture? Or whatever it is. But our lives should be built on Jesus. Because Jesus is love. Jesus is forgiveness. Jesus is acceptance. And so I have a very simple and even quick challenge for you this morning, and it's simply this. Make this the day that you say, you know what? No matter what comes, my foundation will be Jesus. And then no matter what comes in my life, no matter who offends me or no matter, who wrongs me, I can always say, you know what? My foundation is Jesus. And you can forgive because you've been forgiven. And you can love because you've been loved. And you can accept because you've been accepted. And you can build your life, every decision you make, just like every one of those bricks that you build, and you build it to last. You can build your life on the foundation of Jesus and the fact that he loves, and the fact that he forgives, and the fact that he accepts. And if you build your life on that foundation and say, you know what, I'm going to build my life, every decision I make, I want it to be based in the fact that Jesus is my everything. Jesus is my foundation. Well, your life, your high school career will come and go, or maybe you're in middle school, and your middle school career will come and go, and then high school, and then college, and then you'll get married, and pretty soon life hits you really hard, and years will pass, and then years will turn into decades, and decades will turn into a lifetime. And you'll look back, and you'll see how much God has blessed you because you've built your life on the foundation of Jesus. And so that's my challenge to you. Make this the day you say, you know what? No matter what comes, no matter what major I have in college, or no matter what career I choose, or no matter who I marry, I'm going to make my foundation Jesus. So that's my challenge to you. I hope it helps. If you have any more questions about how you can do that practically in your life, ask me, because I'd love to answer those questions, or ask your leader here at Crossroads, because we're here for you, and we love you, and we want to be there for you guys. And so I'll leave you with that. And with that being said, have a great rest of your Monday, and we'll see you soon.